into dancing, 'cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Good morning, Rooted Men. Surprise, I'm not Tom. Yeah, he's off for 3 days. He's going to Chicago, and so I will be doing Rooted Men for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ken will be doing Strengthening Our Roots Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Matt Ryan will have prayer on Monday, Connie Sandbrink on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday would be Matt Ryan again. So that's how we're going to do this first 3 days of the week this week. Just FYI, I hope it's okay. It's beautiful outside, man. I'm ready for spring. I don't know about you guys, but this winter it beat me down pretty bad. Good morning, Chuck. It's great to see you. And Bert Reggiani's here. He says, "Good morning, gentlemen." Steve Ponowierski, nice to see you, Steve. I'm the only viewer. No, yeah. Hi. Good morning, whoever you are. And then Tremaine, good morning from Anderson, Indiana. Awesome sauce. Nice to, well, welcome. And Chris Terry, not long enough. I'm kind of a substitute teacher where the kids get to goof off a little bit while I'm here. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, but it's a work in progress. That's the best way I'd put it. Today's scripture is from Joshua 10, 1-5. It's very short, and it's what I think of is I'm going to read it, and then I want to talk about it instead of trying to talk about it while I read it, because it's not a lot there, and it's pretty consistent. So let's pull that up. All right, hopefully you can see that okay. As soon as Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Joshua had captured Ai and had devoted it to destruction, doing to Ai and its king as he had done to Jericho and its king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them, he feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city. Gibeon was a great city, like one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all its men were warriors. All right, there has got to be 30 commas in that. All right, so Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, was sent to Hoham, king of Hebron, to Piram, king of Jarmuth, Japhiah, king of Lachish, and Deborah, king of Eglon, saying, "Come up to me and help me, and we will strike Gibeon, for it has made peace with Joshua and with the people of Israel." Then the 5 kings of Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon gathered their forces and went up with their armies and encamped against Gibeon and made war against it. That's what I have today. Now, for the last few days, we've talked about how Gibeon had basically tricked Jerusalem into signing a covenant with them, and how that might have been God's plan. Now we have a situation where the other kings of the Amorites, they're all independent, which is kind of weird. They have kingdoms for each city, and they all get together. And instead of attacking Israel, who they attack Gibeon. Is it because of Gibeon's betrayal, or did they fear Gibeon? I doubt it. I think it has to be the fact that maybe Gibeon stepped out and went against them by signing a covenant with Israel. The whole story, though, I looked at it and I go, what do you talk about? What is the lesson here? And I laid it out against Jesus's life. And there's reasons for this, and we'll get into later, but I said, how can we put a parallel between this and Jesus's life? I looked at John 11:48. The religious leaders feared him, just like these Amorites feared the Israeli army. And they said, if we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation. Then we look at Mark 3:16. Groups that didn't normally work together were working together against Jesus. The groups that the Pharisees went out and immediately held counsel with the Herodians against him to destroy him. Pontius Pilate and Herod became friends after Jesus' trial. That was from Luke 32:12. It says, and Herod and Pilate became friends with each other that very day. For before that, there had been enmity between each other. Just as Joshua's power caused kingdoms to unite, Jesus created unlikely alliances to stop his movement. So they chose to attack Gibeon instead of Israelites. In Jesus' ministry, hostility often on his disciples or those he healed, right? I mean, we've heard the stories about the disciples, how all but one was martyred. And he spent time in prison. Those he healed, like Lazarus. I mean, there was a movement to kill Lazarus after Jesus rose him, to make sure that Jesus's works weren't remembered. Anybody that declared him to be a Messiah had a target put on him. In John 15:20, if they persecute me, they will persecute you. Jesus said this to his disciples. He warned them. He said, like Gibeon, aligning with the Lord can bring opposition. Even You get the salvation when you align with Jesus, right? But it doesn't come without a cost, and the cost is that you will face opposition. There's a I don't know if you've ever been in church, our church for any length of time. Tom always talks about Joshua and how Jesus' name are the same. Yahshua is from the Old Testament. In Hebrew, the translation is the same, which means the Lord is salvation. I always wonder why they didn't just call them both Joshua or both of them Jesus, but that's the difference between Hebrew and Greek, I believe. But in the next verses we're going to read tomorrow, Joshua will defend Gibeon. Jesus' defense. Jesus defended those who call on him. Romans 10:13 reads, "Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved." Everyone. The story shows us something here that someone who sides with God's kingdom will face opposition. It's part of it. Jesus told us this. The life of Jesus told us opposition arises, but it can't stop God's kingdom. 5 kings gathered. Five kings gathered and plotted against Gibeon. The Sanhedrin gathered and plotted against Jesus. Pilate and Herod plotted, but God's plan still advanced. It's hard to look at this and not see the parallels. It's funny. We study these books and we read them and we hear about the wars and we hear about the battles, but we never think about the consequences, how the effect it has somewhere down the line and how it changes everybody. That's what I got for you today. I hope it was a blessing. I see if anybody else came on. I think, all right. I think we got everything. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure today, and go out in the world. It's sunny and nice today. Go out in the world and let someone see Jesus in you. Peace.